This is an '04 F250 Super Duty, the King Ranch edition. Come in here for fluid running down the axle housing, and ended up being rusted out shocks. So I got a new set of shocks, and I noticed the four-wheel drive is staying engaged on the front. And it's in two-wheel drive. So you got 4 new shocks put on it. First thing you need to work on these Super Duties is a chair to stand on. Because this thing is high. And you don't want to bust any of this plastic off. Stand on a chair. I took the lockouts off and manually actuated them. Since the four-wheel drive's not working, the first thing I'm doing is testing to make sure this vacuum doesn't fall off going down to the hubs. More than an inch-pound of vacuum every 30 seconds. I just tapped into this line. It goes down to the corner of the motor and splits into both hubs. I pulled it off. This PVH solenoid has a black line coming out of it. Just disconnect it and hook the vacuum gauge into it. And then there's a red main vacuum line that comes off of this canister vacuum tree. Just make sure that this doesn't drop more than 1 inch-pound every 30 seconds. It's holding good enough. If you really wanted to check it, jack it up, set it on jack stands so that both front wheels are off the ground, and you rotate the wheels and check it dynamically for any leakage. That's not bad for as long as I've been talking. Anytime you take the lockouts off, you need to replace the O-rings with new ones. As soon as you pull it off, there's a little skinny O-ring around it. They should be replaced every time you take them apart. These lockouts act like an ink pen clicker or like a bathtub drain stopper. 9 inch-pounds of vacuum to pull those down. There's a big rubber diaphragm in there. It pulls them down, and that engages the sprocket. And then about 6-7 inch-pounds, it kind of just half engages the sprocket and releases the hub sprocket. So 9-10 inches vacuum to pull it down far enough to engage the cog in there, and then 6-7 inch-pounds pulls it down in between, and then it gets released and it's free. The hub should be placed in auto position if you can make it out. It's hard to read it because they're usually wore off, but if you spray it down with some oil or something, you can make out the AUTO on it. And the other position is lock, or you could turn it manually, and if the wheel locks up when you turn it the other way, you know you're in lock, and it should be. This pip should be pointing at auto, right here, auto. and that's in the free mode, and then that lets the truck change it from full drive without you manually overriding it. And they're holding vacuums, so unless they're out of calibration or something, they should be doing their job. I had a vacuum pump hooked up to this, and this PVH solenoid. I noticed when the two-wheel drive's commanded, I'm not seeing any vacuum, and when the four-wheel drive's commanded, it's just going up to like 3 pounds. And that's enough to put it in four-wheel drive, and according to Trouble Tree, it takes more than 8.9 pounds to engage them, so I'm a little concerned about that. But I'm also concerned that this isn't putting out what it's supposed to. So it's got 19 inches of vacuum going into it from this canister, and the related vacuum lines to the air conditioner controls and engine. So I'm gonna ground one of these end wires. The center one's got power on it, and the two end ones control the solenoid that kicks the four-wheel drive on and off. And I'm gonna override the computer with the ground wire and see what the vacuum reading is. The switch is on. Don't hear nothing. Okay, that barely raised it up. The canister's holding good vacuum, so it's got more than 9 inches of vacuum on it, and that's all we'll need to test this, apparently. And this side is dead. Yes. It's in there. Don't screw up and get it in the power one. If I get it in the middle one, it'll blow fuse 27 in the central junction box. Yeah, I think the one it's fried, it's not doing anything. That side's working. Leave the C solenoid. We've got a problem. Should see half vacuum on one side and full vacuum on the other. I'll be needing one of those. Okay, the new PVH solenoid is installed. Two-wheel drive mode. And four-wheel drive then. Alright, the vacuum results from 2 high to 4 high look good. hook this back up to this connector here. That's the black ones on the hub locks. Should be in full drive. There it goes. Alright. Check the other side. Alright, that's did it. That's free and clear to navigate now. Alright, this big boy is done. All the vacuum connections are holding. Now I just need to get it off the jack stands, put the hub cap centers back on. That's good to me.